Greetings, viewers, listeners. My name is Benjamin Wahle. I am a recent graduate of Savvy Coder's full stack development program. In September 2024 was my cohort season. And I'm also a 2024 bachelor's graduate from Thomas Edison State University in business management. Here to present my capstone project. Now, why would I mention my credentials? Well, when you put both of those hand in hand, it says one, I understand a thing or two about full stack development, and two, I understand how difficult it can be to run a profitable business, let alone one that produces a minimum viable product. So, with that being said, I want to go ahead and get into my product called NightWings. So what is it? Well, it's my capstone project. And by the way, I hope you can appreciate my AI drawn logo. I did not use it in the final portion, but yeah, I wanted to use it somewhere. So here it is. So what is it? It's a mobile-friendly food order application. So as you can imagine, its target market is going to be towards those hungry people who want to order their favorite chicken wings at 2 in the morning without a lot of hassle, without a lot of technical difficulties, and at the same thing, without having to reach some sort of customer service or create some sort of dissonance in communication. So how did I do it? Well, I proposed a business need. And my thought was I wanted to do something that was straightforward, that there could always be money made, there's always restaurants in need of new technology. And people are always going to be hungry, and they're going to be hungry and want food now. So with that, I created a SWOT analysis. I did some research on it. I created a strategic action plan. And as you can see, I've got some wireframes drawn. They're very crude. But as we get into kind of the final product, you'll see how closely I kind of tied to what you see there, which you might see you've got a home page. There is what is supposed to be an ordering page where you'll have an item, you'll have checkboxes, you've got information, you'll have an order confirmation, and there was a user login. We did not use that in the final product, but there's room for that in the future. Needless to say, maybe it's not a final project. So I created the strategic action plan. I learned front end and some back end JavaScript, HTML, CSS in this bootcamp, and I used this knowledge to produce a product that meets a solution for these hungry customers. So how did I do that? Well, when we created the plan and throughout the bootcamp, utilize agile frameworks. So everything we did, every piece of this, from the learning aspect to building the individual components to putting the whole framework together and getting it to work, was divided up into bite-sized pieces, with each one given a particular weight. So kind of like the Feynman technique, where there's only so much. As if you break something down small enough, it can be digestible. So we did that and handled the entire project piece by piece over the 12 weeks. If I ever ran into some sort of blocker with it, I was sure to exhaust every resource to come to a solution. If not, submit a JIRA ticket and work with a TA who guided me to a solution or to newfound knowledge. All right. Why did I choose this? Again, it's a basic product idea. It'll meet the requirements. The framework was easier to understand in whatever way that you want to say JavaScript is easy. So without introducing too many bells and whistles, I was able to understand how each end worked. For the customers, the actual product, which we'll get into, the layout is simple. It's something a child in the single digits could figure out quickly. And for the product users, those being, let's say, the restaurant, orders can be streamlined and it gives valuable raw data. Now, to those that may be watching this not familiar with programming knowledge, what is valuable raw data? Well, that we'll get into to show that I do have a working front end and back end, and that there is something more than just providing orders. So with that being said, let's get into what we have here. So this is the actual code here. We're gonna run the actual applications. There we go, NightWings. And we're gonna condense this because, again, this was supposed to be a mobile delivery application. We're not ordering from our computers. You can, but for the most part, we're on our phones. We're in bed. We decide we want some hot wings at 1 in the morning. So this is where we'll do it from. So we got a front page here. There's some room for this to grow. I would love to do some CSS work to the front. Here, today is January 6th. Today's weather is clouds and the temperature is definitely 24 degrees out. We just endured a major snowstorm. So this was my API, my third-party API that I utilized. I do eventually want to add a second API where the zip code based API where I can allow users to enter in their zip code, and if they're in a particular vicinity of the restaurant, which we can deem wherever we like, show them that they are available to order, or build an if-else statement that tells them, nope, unfortunately we do not serve your area. So let's get into the important part, the order page. So one side you got wings, the other side you got your sides. So let's order some honey glaze. We're gonna order 30, we're hungry. We're gonna add that to the order, and let's, I don't know, put some onion rings in there. 5 orders of onion rings. We're really hungry. So order populates at the bottom, and we're gonna place order. And that takes us to an order summary. So what do you have here? You've got data showing you've got the honey glazed wings, the amount, the price, and the actual CRUD operation ID. Same thing with the onion rings. So that brings us to raw data. I'm going to go ahead and open up the inspector menu. So right here, these are objects being sent to the back end, which tells what people are ordering, how much they're spending, and how much. So what can you do with this raw data? Well, you can use that for inventory management in the same way that Target and Walmart users, where they immediately expense that from their inventory the moment it's sold. You can also use that for surveying, as in how much are people ordering, or what are people ordering at what time of the week or what time of the year. So you can better prepare yourself to be, if you want to make deals or if you want to meet your customers' marketing needs, that's an excellent way to do that. And then you've also got an about page and contact us. So as you can see, this is all dynamically loaded. This is a single page application. And I'll kind of show you through what I have in my VS Code. We've got our views. So these are the actual views that are dynamically loaded, the home page showing the HTML that goes on the front page, and order confirmation, which JSON stringifies the actual order. This is the order summary that we just saw. Same thing with the order page, and then user login is that's actually information. And we've also got our components. So these are the actual static components, like the footers and the headers and the navigation bar that do not move. On our index.jf, we've got our actual router hooks, both for the third-party API. And we talk a little bit about our server built. So our server, we did not use any sort of framework. There was no Reactor, Vue, or Angular in this. This was built from the ground up. So here's my data schema, my actual routers, my try-catch routes, and then routing for my third-party application, and my CORS middleware. So the thing about this is harder than I thought it would be. If I had to restart this, I would spend less time trying to figure out all the complex tasks and focus on the critical stuff and ask for help and ask for help more often. As in, I had a lot of pride that stopped me from the moment I was blocked from asking for any sort of help. I would probably spend several days more time than I probably should have trying to figure something out. I would burn my head out, and then I'd say, oh, I'm going to come back to another day. Burn my head out. Oh, I'm going to come back to another day when I had the available assistance. So that's really something I'm going to take advantage on, given the opportunity in the future. And then I would get stuff I have to get done to have the minimum viable product first, and then tackle more complex things. So I've kind of explained also what I was going to get finished, or what I was going to do in the future with this. Like I do want to add some user login. I do want to do payment information as well. And because this one, once those sort of meat and potatoes are handled, a lot of that, it's just theme work. It can be used by, I imagine, any small restaurant business that wants to do quick and easy delivery. With that being said, I'm going to continue to work on that. I'm going to continue working on other projects. I do regularly upload sandbox projects to my GitHub. I'll keep that linked. If you're watching this on YouTube, that will be in my information down below. If you have any other questions or want to reach out to me for anything, I am seeking to eventually work full-time as a full-stack developer. I will link my LinkedIn as well. So thank you for watching, and if you have any other questions, please reach out.